Hello and welcome back to The Right Hand. This is Reuben Allen's podcast. It's a space where small law firm owners and managing partners, practice leaders, all can come to think bigger, build smarter, and lead with intention. I'm your host, Greg Copeland. I am the managing partner of Reuben Allen. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into a topic um, that's that's not really sexy. Um, it's not urgent. And you ask, why are you talking about it? If it's not sexy, it's not urgent. Because it's absolutely essential. It's essential if you want your law firm to grow and last. And basically, what I'm talking about is revisiting your partnership agreement, creating a real succession plan, and building a clear, competitive compensation structure for your attorneys. And, the truth of it is that most firms avoid these conversations until it's too late. They wait until a partner gets sick or wants out or things go south between the partners or an attorney already accepts an offer uh, from another firm for more compensation. Uh, but, if you're serious about building a firm that doesn't fall apart when someone leaves or gets promoted or passes away, you need to think like a steward and not just a biller. So what we're going to do is just kind of break this down quickly and get to it. Um, so here's why most partnership agreements are, I guess, what I would consider ticking time bombs. Um, because a lot of them and most of them were written when the firm started. Um, Somebody looked up partnership agreements on the internet, pulled a template um, years ago, and then they would never updated. No matter what happened, partners could change in and out. Somebody could have retired, left. Someone's added, and these agreements are never really updated year to year or reviewed year to year. Um, and then what happens is a lot of times they're full of like vague language, you know, with all the buzzwords in it: equity, retirement, departure, all that. I mean, for some of you, I'm sure a lot of this sounds familiar. And that's kind of what we did, So here's the danger in all that. Um, if your partnership agreement that you have doesn't reflect your current business and your current business reality, then it's not really protecting you. What it's doing is it's actually exposing you. I've seen firms implode from because there was no agreement in place on how like profits are split when one partner begins to bring in 60 or 70% of the business through the ebbs and flows. Or say there was no clear exit process if someone wants to retire or go solo or just even wants to step back, take a break, mental health break. There was no clear process for that. And then there was no valuation method for any type of buyout or death for that partner's family upon death. So a lot of these leads to firms just imploding, dissolving, be done with it. So there are solutions to this. And what's the solution? Revisit the agreement every 2 to 3 years at the least. Some do it every year. You can do it annually, partnership meeting annually and review the agreement. But I definitely suggest at least every 2 to 3 years you revisit and review and see if it still matches the business as it currently exists at that time. Um, you can bring in an outside counsel such as myself to consult and facilitate the conversation, point out where they may see um, danger points in the immediate and even down the line as well. And so you also want to make sure that that agreement covers all the goodies: equity, profit sharing, draws, buyouts, the decision making process. This is very important: the decision making process and the dissolution scenarios. So it's and for you attorneys, you you estate planning attorneys, you'll love this. This is like the estate planning for your business. Um, this partnership agreement. Um, and in that partnership agreement, definitely you want to have something about succession planning. And succession planning isn't morbid because there's a finality to it, whether it's retirement or death or whatever. I mean, it's not the most joyous of subjects to think about, but it's not morbid. It's actually a mature thing to do, to confront that, the eventuality. Um, it's about continuity. It's because you need to ask yourself and your partners, what happens to your firm when the founding partners step back? Does it dissolve completely? Do some of the junior partners step up? Does an senior associate who's been there for 10, 15 years get promoted to partner and take over? What happens to the clients? What happens to the staff? What happens to the lease? What happens? What happens when your rainmaker, every firm has a major rainmaker usually, it's one person who brings in more business than the others. And what happens when that person decides, hey, I'm done, I want to be out, and I'm leaving in like 18 months, 12 to 18 months? What do you do? How do you prepare for that? Also, who leads when the law firm leader or owner is on sabbatical? I need to take a mental health break. I need to go away. I need to take care of my health. Or maybe they're sidelined, they're in an accident, they can't perform the day-to-days. What happens? Who leads? What's the process? All of this needs to be in succession planning. Succession planning does three things, basically. It protects the firm's brand, protects the client base, protects the revenue. That's one. Protects the brand, client base, and revenue. Two, it gives the younger attorneys in the firm a reason to stay and grow. If they know what the plan is, they'll stay. If they don't know what the plan is and a partner gets sick or a partner announces he or she is exiting in 12 to 18 months, in that younger attorney's mind, it's chaos. What do I do? Where's my career going from here? I need to get out, you know? And three, obviously, and I just touched upon it, is it reduces the chaos during transitions. So protects the firm's brand, protects the firm's brand, client base, and revenue. That's one. Two, it gives the younger attorneys a reason to stay and grow. And three, it reduces the chaos during transitions. Those are the three things succession planning does. But the harsh reality of it, most small firms do not have a succession plan. So you have to start yourself and ask yourself, in order to create a competent and succession plan, you have to ask yourself, what roles are critical to a firm's function? What roles do we need? What roles may we not need? You need to ask, who's being mentored and trained to take those on if someone moves on in any capacity, whether death, retirement, moves on to another opportunity. Who's there to step in their place? And also, you need to ask yourself, what timeline or milestones define leadership transitions? How long should this take? Our managing partner is leaving. Our founding partner is leaving. How long should it take to replace that person, for someone to step in their place? A good succession plan isn't about ego. It's about legacy. How do we keep this firm alive? You spent your entire time working to build this firm. You don't want things to fall apart just like that. Along with the succession planning is making sure your attorneys are compensated fairly. Make sure that attorney compensation is fair. Make sure it's transparent. Make sure it's sustainable. And we have to talk about money because unclear or unfair compensation systems ruin more partnerships than malpractice ever will. Um, and a lot of firms are stuck, maybe most, in one of two models. One is the equal split model. That's where everyone gets the same regardless of contribution. Um, the other is the eat what you kill model, and which basically, in my opinion, promotes competition over collaboration. And neither one of these works long term. Um, we need to step out of the 80s, step out of 70s, step out of the 80s, early 90s, step into the 21st century, and put more thought into these compensation models. A compensation model should be authentic and representative of your firm, who your firm is culturally. And you could do hybrid compensation models, structures, and a base salary and a draw, a, a percentage of an origination, um, a percentage of production. Uh, you can add in bonus or profit sharing based on firm wide performance, and you can add, subtract, adjust all of these structures to fit who this firm is. Where some years one partner may be bringing in 70% of the income, and then 3 years later it may be partner two who's bringing in the 70% and holding the firm together. So you want to create a model that basically ebbs and flows with the ebbs and flows of the business. um, have transparency in this compensation structure, have predictability so everybody knows what they're in for, and associates and partners alike should understand how and why they're paid. um, this work I'm doing, this is why I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid if I hit ABC, I hit this bonus or this percentage. Everything should be out on the table. It shouldn't be some hidden figure in the back, arbitrary number that someone makes up, and how they feel on that day of the week, on what to give the associates and partners. There should also be a clear path from associate to income partner, from income partner to equity partner. You should have those steps and those markers for your team to meet, so they have something to look forward to and work on and grow with. They should know why they have been made an income partner, and everyone else in the firm should know why that person made income partner. They should know why they haven't quite made it to income partner, and everyone else in the firm should know this is why they didn't make income partner. They should know why they moved from income partner to equity partner, and everyone should know. You get it. You get it. You also have to learn how to make adjustments for non-billable contributions, and a lot of law firms have started doing this, but a lot of them have time putting value on it because everything is billing and money and hours. But there are firms in which you have partners who do more of the administrative work. And though this may not directly be bringing in the money as for billing a client, they are taking a lot care of a lot of the day-to-day operations of the firm, which keeps the firm afloat, keeps the firm efficient, keeps the firm running, keeps the firm together. And so, you have mentorship, leadership, marketing. All of this has value. Um, the best comp plans aren't just math; they're strategic, and you have to learn how to. What's the value of rainmaking? What's the value of mentorship? What's the value of leadership? What's the value of marketing? How is that valuable to my firm? To some firms, some of those things may be extremely valuable. To others, they may consider it not as valuable. Um, what the adjustments for the non-billable contributions does, it rewards the behavior that you want more of and that you definitely need more of. So how do you start these conversations on succession planning, attorney compensation, and these things without drama? Because a lot of times these are conversations that attorneys and partners like to avoid in their partnership. Um, because I mean, honestly, talking about equity, death, and money, heavy topics at times, and you get tense. And here's what you need to do and how to approach it as a leader. You have to frame the conversation around the firm's future and not just any one person's needs. Um, that's one. Two, you need to, and I would suggest, use outside facilitators to create safety and neutrality. That way, you can speak in peace, your partner can speak in peace and give their opinions, their thoughts freely, um, without trampling on each other's feelings or feeling like you're not being heard by the other person. Uh, Three, make it a regular point of your firm to have leadership retreats, annual reviews. You have to confront these things. Just because you don't confront them doesn't mean they don't exist. You know, and to start off, you could just try a line like this. If we want this firm, to grow beyond any one of us, we need to get ahead of the big questions while we still are together as a cohesive unit right now. Something like that. Just you could say, oh, while we still like each other, kind of joke it off. And just start with one document. You can review the existing partnership. You can highlight what no longer works or reflects with the current reality. And then you can set a 90-day plan or build a 90-day plan to update it, create comp framework, and sketch out your succession outline. And if you don't decide now to do this, you're going to be forced to decide in a crisis later. So it's always good to get a jump on this. So don't avoid it. And just to wrap things up, your partnership agreement should grow with your firm, not collect dust. It's not a one-time thing. It should always be a working document. Succession planning is a sign of strength. It's not weakness. Compensation plans should reward what matters and retain who matters. Again, I'll say that compensation plans should be designed to reward what matters and retain who matters. And the best time in all of this is to talk about this before you really have to, before you're forced to. So, if you want support in revising your partnership agreements, mapping out succession plans, building a modern comp system, what we're going to do is try to put a free resource out there, and firm owners checklist, agreements, transitions, and compensation that scale. We're here for you. This is what we do. Please feel free to contact us for a free strategy exploratory call. This is our business, Reuben Allen. So thank you for tuning in. If the episode resonated to you, forward it to a fellow firm owner. Bring it up at your next partners meeting. You'll thank yourself later, definitely. I'm Greg Copeland. This is the Right Hand Podcast. We'll see you next time.